Well, clearly. Anyway, we'll do that again. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to League of MVP. I'm gonna have to come back. As I was saying, my name's Cameron. I'll be your commentator for today and for hopefully the whole season of MVP. Now, I warn you, stay with me in this scenario, and hopefully we can have a fun and enjoyable time, which should be enjoyed by all. There we go. There's the ping. There's my chat. There's everything. I haven't broken it. We're all good. It's just that didn't want to show up for some reason. Anyway, hey everyone. I have some stuff to say before we properly get going. Such as, what is this? Why we're doing this? And how it all works. So this is League of MVP. It's a privately run by a multiple of people, but the person who I'll call at the head of it, Roy. And there's also stewards and everything, which we all love. With I think AJ's on that stewarding team, and there's a whole bunch of organisers as well, which I've got to give props to. They'll all get their individual props in due course, but yes, it's all privately joined. There is ways to get in if you do want to get in, if you are interested, but I don't know what's happening with the signals today, that they don't seem very good. No, this is race one of a. It's race one of a 12 race calendar. There it is. Race one of a 12 race calendar. We're racing here today in Australia, Melbourne, at Albert Park for round one. It is the first time most of these drivers have driven in a league setting on this game. So cut them some slack as well on the track. And also, they are pretty good racers. I've seen a lot of the pre-season testing, and we'll get into that shortly. We have the grid lineups, which I'll discuss. If you were here with us last season, a lot of these people will be familiar. We have a few new faces that has happened. I guess I joined back. That's very odd that happened. Sorry, guys. But yes, no, beautiful place. Very cool. And yeah. We recently started out our league Instagram. Please go follow us over there, League of MVP on there. And it's lovely to see you all. And when I can actually join the session, would be lovely. Here we go. Spectate. Beauty. Anyway, so apologies for the technical difficulties. Now, what we should go over is some stuff that's happened in the off-season. There's been rule changes, and we're obviously on a new game, first of all. So F1 23 introduces red flags, which are where the race gets suspended with a bad enough incident. So if an accident happens which is deemed very dangerous, we will the race will red flag. That is set on, I believe, standard, and as we're on a street track today, safety cars will be set on to reduce. The format of this league, it will be 18-minute qualifying followed by a 50% race with no formation lap. That's for me to remember. And yeah, there's a few reserves stepping in today on behalf of some missing people. So for those who weren't here last season, Mercedes did win the Constructors season of Season 7, sorry. And we have had one resignment, re-signment, as in re-signed. Mark re-signed George, so it's the same Mercedes pairing who won last season. David dropped Josh and signed AJ for Season 8, and choosing Haas to be their team. So the old Red Bull team is now the new Haas team, with AJ and David teaming up on forces by some miracle of God. Don't know how that occurred. Snippers has reunited his French colleague Process and have chosen to be Ferrari for the upcoming season. Mitch took over the team after AJ left to go to Haas and decided to sign Cami and became Aston Martin. Some would say that he upgraded AJ to Cami. Not Roy's words, not mine. Maybe one of the most interesting transfers was Jen signing Josh, and taking that to be Alpine. Don't know why that's interesting, Roy, but thank you for adding that. And here's a fun fact for you all. We all love our fun facts here after our one-off quiz. So, fun fact: the track that we are racing at is located in Albert Park, as most of you would know. However, surrounding the track there is a golf course called the Albert Park Golf Course, and we all know how the golf craze has taken up on some of the grid. Some becoming golf addicts. And we have our pits here. This is the first time I've actually done this. So to quickly go over the scheduled driver pairings and the reserve. So we have Burmeister Chicken Skin at Red Bull, Roy Swampy at McLaren, Jens Josh at Alpine, David AJ Amando at Haas, Dino and Smidge at AlphaTauri, Snoopy be the processor at Ferrari, Mitch and Cami at Aston Martin, Lazy but Talented and Nounbred at Mercedes, Team Red and Oechi at Alfa Romeo, Unbeaten Signer Hemby Little at Williams. The reserves are Kevin Cow and Alex Fell, who I believe are joining us here today, are they? We have 19, we're missing one driver, who, yes, the reserve might show up. So, anyway, to the racing, which I don't know what you all want to see, secretly, deep down. And you don't want to just hear me rant on for ages and ages and ages and ages and ages. Let me quickly do some of this. Let me take that off. We'll leave the telemetry off for now. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. I don't want it to eat up too much of the screen. You're going to have to bear with me. It's my first time commentating. So, who's out on track? We have an Aston Martin of Cami P03, fellow Cameron in the league, in Aston Martin now. We'll see what comes of them. In the practice sessions, Mercedes have been pretty quick. In specific practice sessions to this track, Roy, David, AJ having a few problems with setup. Try 3 down on the front, 2 down on the back, AJ. That might help you. I know Yen's been looking pretty quick, so have the Ferraris of Snoopy and B-Process. Yeah, no, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. We had pretty high attendance for practice. I'm going to wait to see who's first on the fast lap. It's Jen. As going into turn 1, turn 2. Quite fast corners on this track. You need some downforce though. If you want to take them out flat. Yellow flag, sector 3 doesn't bother Jens at the minute. Coming through to a second fast chicane complex. Takes it pretty well. Watch the curb on exit. Does well to avoid. Now going into a sort of a little bit of a straightaway with a short lift off the brakes. Little tap as well. Go through that little divot. Doing pretty well. Long straight here. Get a burst of the DRS as well. Some cars in front that may impede, may be proving so difficult. Here is the fast chicane. Here, quick left, followed by a right. Avoid the curb on the exit. You can run on it a little bit, but the curbs here are pretty killer. But it's also the slow corners because they catch you off guard. Here, speaking of the slow corners, here they are. Getting impeded by some weaving up ahead, moving off the racing line is that Aston Martin of Mitch, I believe. These last 2 corners are tricky. You mess up one, you mess them both up. But Jens does pretty well. Catches a little bit more curb on exit maybe than needed. But is going to come to the line with a 1:18.061 on the soft compound. There's some cars behind who are going to follow that. 613. First I've seen of him doing pretty well to cement his name so far. Snoopy 1:18.212, pretty good so far. That was Roy across the line there, 1:18.329. Doubt he's got the fastest sector one at the minute. I think that belongs to Jens. Cami at 1:18.343 as approaching the line. One of the Hasses, I think it's David, going to come across the 9.6. That's the pace. That is some pace there. Who's next across the line? It's going to be an AlphaTauri that's just gone off smidge. 1:18.724. There we go. Hamby Little. Very surprising there. And AJ tops David, 117.561. Hamby Little surprising me though with a 117.859. Native but talented splits David and Hamby Little with a 117.714. Nonbred now slides up 117.955. And Burmeister splits Lazy and Hamby Little by 117.803. It's very, very close near the top in a couple. In a fair few tenths there. It's going to be competitive around here, I think. It's a street track. No major accidents yet, but those will come in the race. Team Red for Alfa Romeo goes at 118.529. And Unbeaten Sign goes 118.335. Just because I've missed them out, I'm sorry. Anyone still on an outer? I think most of them are coming in now. I think Swampy is going out on an outer for McLaren, Roy and Swampy. Quite the pairing, I feel. Swampy could put it up high here. 113 at the minute to the line. Could turn 117, 118, 119. P8 above Roy currently. I think that's all the outers. I think everyone's going to start coming in now. It's one lap out, one lap racing, one lap in. Racing, one lap fast, one lap in. Change the tyres. There seems to be a double stack there at Mercedes. Pit lane. Because most of the drivers will be hopping into it in a minute. I doubt anyone would go on a double. And if they do, they're a bit... yeah, Burmeister's on a 130. Dino's on a... Oh, Dino... Is Dino on? No, Dino can't be on the fast one, surely. I wouldn't put it out the question. If it is a fast one, it might be the quickest lap we've seen. So I think it's going to be the pit lane for Dino. Yeah. And for Swampy, just going around. I doubt it's going to be a double out. Yeah, I think... Ooh, yeah, it's in. It was cutting it close with approaching the straight there, but I think that is in. Burmeister actually down to 10th on that lap. Maybe this could be a fast one. Excuse me, I've got to sneeze. Now that I've sneezed, I can get back to this action. Burmeister does seem to be on a fast lap as drivers are moving off the fast line. Oh, brilliant save by Burmeister. Approaching the curb there, could have been catastrophic. Still continues on the fast lap though. Maybe you've got some more fuel in that car than everyone else. Different strategy maybe. But I have a feeling it'll be in the pits after that big slide there. I believe it is. And all the drivers are coming up for second outlaps now. Is Jens should be one of her. No, it's Snoopy in front. Snoopy in the red car of a Ferrari, and he said Red Bull. Excuse me, that would have enraged a lot of people. Snoopy in the Ferrari then going to come through the first few corners pretty well, coming through the second chicane now, doing pretty well. Lots of chicanes around this track. Even by removing one, it's still quite chicaney. Going down a little bit of straightaway here into another chicane, you guessed it. Now onto a long bendy straight. DRS is active about a third down this straight. There it goes, wide open for the world to see. Goes now into, you guessed it, another chicane. Pretty fast this one. We call it the fast chicane. At least what I call it, at least. Now we're onto the slow corners. 90 degrees here. Another 90 degrees up ahead. Does the first one pretty well. Takes the second one at some good speed. Doesn't go too wide. Sets up well for the next two corners. Very, very tight. Very, very demanding to sweep across the whole width of the track. Does well there. Does Snoopy. Hopefully promotes him up the leaderboard a little bit. It's an improved time by 12 hundredths of a second. Doesn't promote any position. There's another Romeo on the track. There, spun round. I think it might be Team Red. Yeah, it is. No front wing for Team Red in turns 1 and 2. Had a little incident. Those turns may prove killer on the opening lap of the race, or throughout any point of the race, in fact. I have missed who's on a lap and who isn't on a lap. I think Roy will be the next across the line. No, it would be. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's Roy. Because Snoopy's just invalidated, so it's Roy. Roy now coming into the pit lane. Never mind, I lie. Cammy in sector 3. It looks a bit slow though. I don't think this is be too competitive, unless he wants to make me eat my words. I think he is. It might shave off down to be a low 118 or lower 118 than he currently has there. 118.212, 71 hundredths there. Swampy on a lap now as well. Team Red with the missing front wing will want to come jump into the pit lane. Josh Morton going to be taking the line now. Should improve from a 122 this. A 117.902. Pretty quick there in the Alpine. And a wet sheet for Alfa Romeo as well. Minor pace improvements, it would appear. Hopefully the damage done to that lap time was in the later segments as your Nounbred goes 117.216, fastest time of the lot, dethroning the two Hasses. Mercedes and Haas could be in for a good fight for this season. Let's see how it plays out in the race. Going back to Awechi, looking for a time improvement here. I haven't checked the sector times, but it's looking promising. Sector 2 may have been where the little incident happened for the second Alfa Romeo coming to the straight line. There's just the straight now. Goes 118.320, promotes him up to P12. Good enough for now. There's still a bit more time left in this qualifying, I think. 6 minutes. 6 minutes to go in qualifying. A few more runs out for the majority, I would believe. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. The top 4 all out on track. Now the Hasses, what are they doing? They're pulling off some funky maneuvers here. A little toe strategy maybe down the straights. Didn't quite pay off for AJ. AJ seems to have lost time from that. Let's see how it pans out. AJ's losing time to David. David looking like the quicker car at the minute. I'll be real. But stuck behind AJ on the leaderboards, but I don't think that'll be for much longer. Let's see how fast this car is in a straight line. Drag race to the line. It's going to be a 117.456. Not quick enough. AJ comes into the pit lane. Still too slow. Swampy into pit lane. Awechi going to be coming around the final 2 corners now. But it's going to dive into the pit lane. Mitch GK, going quite quiet, I think. I think we may have seen a lap of his. But we'll take another look. Seems to be going through Sector 1 at the minute into the second chicane of the track. I'm not going to count the corners. I'm just going to count the chicanes, if I'm completely honest. Goes a little wide there onto the rumble strip. Mini little chicane here. Takes it pretty nicely. It's all flat out. Through that sector, a little bit of lift or a brake if you're a bit precautious. Down the straight now, DRS wide open, past all the spectators, into the far chicane. Purple sector 2 for Mitch there. Obviously maybe running a lower downforce than some people because of that rumble strip action we saw earlier. Going onto the rumble strip there as well, where we're seeing some drivers not going onto. Avoiding that one though, going into these corners, but using the full width of the track because you have to if you want to get these corners right. Mitch now going to the straight, hopefully improving the time. It's an improvement by 0.3, 118.359. Sorry, I could not read that for a second. All the drivers into the pits. I've already not going out. Like Roy is about to go on a lap. Let's go on board with Roy. See what happens here. Let's see what the state of the leaderboard is in after Roy's lap. There we are. It's a sector 1. Here we go. Into the first chicane. Hits the Gray's back corner a little bit. Take a little bit of the grass here. Just about what you want to do. And he's invalidated. Never mind. Nice lap, Roy. Oh, Kevin Cal has joined to reserve for... What team is he reserving for? I think it might be a Red Bull. I don't see two of them. Who's on an outlap and nearly finished it? It's hard to tell. Let me get off the off-boards for you. We won't go on an on-board lap because Roy seems to have spoiled our chances on doing so. There should be some action in the pit lane soon. I would hope there would be, because there's only 2 minutes left of the session. All the drivers out now are going to have to either go out on 2 laps or slow their pace down a bit. Because for those who are new to how qualifying kind of works, if you're the last one on the track, you have the best track conditions to set the fastest lap you can. And those small things do matter when it comes to shaving off thousandths of a second on the person ahead of you. So let's see what manifests here. Swampy going on a lap now into the second chicane. Doesn't invalidate in the first one like Roy does. Took a bit too much grass, in my opinion. A lot of drivers here, they all come out on the outlaps. Pit lane pouring out the drivers. If you're still in the pit lane, you've got to leave now, Mitch, and be process. Sorry, I have another driver now. He could be the process. My brain is stuck on that. 1 minute 30 to go. Let's see how Swampy can turn this one around. When we hit the checkered flag, I will make sure to try and get every driver as they come across the line. I think that might be a sign of yielding out the way for Roy there. Let's go see Roy. Roy on a fast lap at the minute. I don't know what the sector times are looking like, but yellow flags here, maybe not helping. That wasn't a yawn, AJ. I know you watch these back. Roy going now onto the straight. 1 minute 14, 1 minute 15, 1 minute 16, 1 minute 17, 1 minute 18. It's up. Does not improve. Swampy sacrificing the lap for Roy for no improvement. Dino improving up to P12 there. Oh my god, what is this? What is going on in Sector 3? There is a car park of cars trying to get through. And there goes one Haas. And the other Haas has just been launched. And the Williams, the Williams of Hamby-Little not letting that go. Ferrari, it's going to be a DRS train across the line. Mike cut there. Sorry, Kevin Cow going to make the line with 4 seconds to spare. And it's going to be Yonanbred taking the line. Does not improve the time. It's next, and Alpha Tauri. Alpha Tauri, there's the Alpha Tauri. Alpha Tauri of Smidge. About to take the line, improving on P19, hopefully. And it's up to the 117s. 117.908. Drivers taking to the pit lane. Burmeister finishes with no improvement. Oechi resigns. I think it's Swampy across the line. No improvement for Swampy. Other AlphaTauri now takes the line. P8 with a little bit of a crash. Here comes Roy across the line. No, into the pit lane. What is happening? The Hasses looking to compete with Narnbred as Lazy overtakes David. David takes pole, and AJ not too far behind. Takes pole off David. It's a Haas 1-2, Mercedes 3-4. It's going to be interesting into the race for those two teams. Cammy peeling off into the pit lane. And that's going to be it for qualifying. Kevin Carroll setting a lap time, but only managing P20, unfortunately, by 3,000th of a second. But AJ takes pole by the hair on his chinny chin chin off David. And David snatching it off the two Mercedes. Good job from Haas. Mercedes now need to catch up, and good job from everyone across the whole grid. No major crashes. Good job, guys. You guys smashed it. Now, who hasn't... Oh, Cammy's in the pit. Cammy, thank you. Let me just do a mic check. Yeah, we're all good. My mic is working. So, hello, everyone in the chat. Actually, before I say hello to everyone in the chat, let me just do a quick result read for you. AJ takes P1 for Haas, followed by David, his teammate, in P2, and your non-bred takes P3 for Mercedes, followed by teammate Lazy, P4, Hamby Little P5, Burmeister P6, Josh P7, Smidge P8, Snoopy P9, Jens P10, Oechi 11, P Process 12, Swampy P3, P13, Unbeaten Side 14th, Mitch 15th, Dino 16th, Cammy 17th, Roy 18th, T-Red 19th, and Kevin Cal for Red Bull Reserve 20th. Sorry, this isn't the finishing list, I shouldn't say P. It's pole position, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Apologies. People get annoyed when I do that sometimes. So, let's see how this goes then. Race time, no formation lap. It's a 50% or 35? 50%. Roy says, good luck everyone, please stay safe into turn 1. I echo those words. Please, stay safe into turn 1. We do not want a disaster class of whatever's about to happen, because I know something is. So while we wait for the players, I want to wish everyone luck. Let's see what happens here. I think it's going to be a good race. Here in Australia, Melbourne, Albert Park with the golf course neighbouring. Maybe we'll see some drivers there after the race, who knows. But first, they've got a race to get through. And not an easy one at that. High speed, walls close track, such as Australia, can prove very difficult, and you need full attention. If you look away for 1 second. Very hard to do. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights. And we go green in Australia. AJ takes a pretty good start. David following up too close, not too far behind. Here's your track data. Oh God, I've messed it up already. Here you go. Hamby Little takes into P3. There has been a disaster class into turn 1 involving a few cars. AJ and David fighting it out at the front with Hamby Little getting 2 positions of the start, not too far behind. Not behind there, Lazy but talented. What's happened to the other Mercedes? Down in P9. Cammy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings already. It's only been a matter of corners. Josh Morton following behind with a train of cars, and oh my God, Oechi has just slammed into the wall. It's a safety car, full course, high-speed crash. Awful crash. It's still a safety car. No red flag as of yet. AJ then manages to hold off P1 to David P2. Hamby Little gaining 2 positions there off the start into P3. Burmeister, sorry, I think gaining 1. I don't know if that's a glitch, I can never tell. Lazy though sticks at P4 for Mercedes. We lost one in the mixer somewhere. Oh, we definitely lost one in the mixer. Josh though up 1 into 6th. Snoopy up 2 into 7th. It's been a good start from Ferrari. Up 2 and up 3 for Process. The Aston Martins being very close together, sticking up some good positions. There seems to be some position swapping. That's because there's been some pit stops for new front wings. Roy, Dino, Josh, and Team Red. All for new front wings, I would imagine, and also changing the tyre compound. And here is Nombred, somehow in the middle of the safety car queue, but in last place. I have a feeling that might be a bug, unless he's been lapped, which I doubt, because the time says he's 0.5 off Roy, which is not true. So let's ignore that. There we go, it fixed itself. There we go, P7 for the Mercedes, but down 4 places off the start. Josh Morton down 9 because of that collision and pit stop, but sadly we had to say goodbye to Wechi for that big incident that occurred. It's a 3-second time penalty for Team Red there, maybe for causing a collision would be my estimate. I have no clue. I'll have to check the tape on that one, and it's something that the stewards will also probably need the tape for. So you're welcome, stewards. I hope people were recording that. So we're still under safety car. It's my favourite antics. I'm waiting for this to end, which it might end this lap if Roy decides to get a move on. No, it's too late. I'll call it in next lap. But no. I did expect a safety car, but I didn't expect it to lap 1, lads. It's alright though. Things happen. First race on, first race back. Most of you got off scot-free. 4 of you with damaged wings, 1 of you out the session. Not too bad. A few picking up time penalties, also Cammy. I don't know how Cammy got 3 seconds in the span of probably 3 corners. But yeah, it's really interesting how that one occurred. So, what's the current situation? What can we see happen? I mean, we've seen Haas take 1 and 2, keep 1 and 2 even, quite comfortably, and Mercedes only dropping positions. But I don't know what quite happened with Narnbread. I think they got caught up in a bit of a collision or a spin. I think it was a spin, actually. No, that was... I don't know. You know what? Mercedes should have tried 3 down on the front, 2 up in the back, 2 down in the back. If they would have done that, they might be on the same pace as Haas at the minute, because I know David and AJ did that. Safety car in this lap, however, and we're going to get a lovely piece of footage here. Sheesh, of all the cars being backed up through the far chicane. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Yeah, they've changed the timings on those cameras, which makes me happy. So let's get a look at the front of the queue here. AJ somehow keeping David at bay through those opening laps. He does like to nip, does AJ. Does David, sorry. Even at his own teammates. And that you see it now. He's trying to get his nose in there. It's AJ's moment to decide when he wants to go, and he seems to have gone now. Throttles down through the corner. Drop David through those corners. Nice little piece of work there. Under attack by the Williams of Happy Little here is David going to take evasive action there to get back onto the racing line. Take a little bit of a quick left-right, and the Mercedes behind of Lazy, right behind Hamby Little here, could get into the fight here with David. Is trying, it could go 3 abreast, would be unwise. That front tyre, that Mercedes with the rear of that Williams would not have made a good combination there, but manages to avoid it behind. I see a Ferrari and a Red Bull, Burmeister and Snoopy scrapping it out. With the other Mercedes now trying to get involved with that little fight there. But now we've got this little battle here for second with Hamby Little and David. Hamby Little in front for now. It's side by side down the straight. Hamby Little managed to break free, going into one of the fast chicanes. And Lazy manages to dive ahead of David as well, going into third, promoting up Mercedes a position, doing a good job to do so there. Going for second place as well. Nice and clean there. A little bit of a competitive shove, does well. AJ though still holding the lead. That gap closing. Yellow flag sector 3 for unbeaten sign. A little bit of a Spinella maybe. Or maybe a bit of inducted Spinella, who knows. Lazy but talented, taking the fastest lap there by pure overtaking prowess, I think. Let's take up 6 positions, doing a good job. All of those who've taken wing damage have not been able to recover. Unbeaten Sign making a stop, and so does Josh. All those who came in with the wing damage haven't been able. Seems like they haven't been able to recover so much. I also don't know how many people have gained so many places, but it looks about right. Oh, sorry, I'm missing a fight here. Burmeister getting past David. What is happening to David? David DePay seems to be climbing down, but falling, not climbing, falling. Very much free falling down the order, and there goes Burmeister in the Red Bull. Little Spinella on the exit, on the entrance to the corner, on the exit of the last one, into the entrance of the other one. That has compromised the race there for Red Bull. Kevin sitting 13th at the minute, brings David back up a little bit. DRS has been enabled. David now under pressure from the other Mercedes, being smothered right now by other drivers. And here is Yananbred to add to the smother. That is Kevin Callop 7 positions now from starting last into 13th. Pretty good race so far. Other high position gainers, Cammy, as Josh gets past Burmeister, Burmeister goes into the pits, and Unbeaten Sign goes into the pits again. What is happening with Unbeaten Sign? Maybe retirement is coming. But the front looks very close, all within a second of each other, all the way down to P8, I believe, is the way to read that. Their fight is actually closing up front with AJ, Lazy, and Hambulil here. The gaps are getting closed and closed, especially with DRS in play now. AJ is going to be sweating because he knows what's about to happen, and he's about to get absolutely done in down the straight by this Mercedes. And here we go, Lazy trying to gaining, doesn't get enough gain before the exit of the corner. Can't pull off anything fancy there. Does get some gainage in though. Hambulil trying to stick with him. David, everyone behind, trying to stick with. Nanbred's trying to force David to go a little bit quicker. He's like, hurry up, mate. I need to get I need to get to my other teammate up in second. Oh, excuse me a second. Sorry, my eyes. I've been reading and staring for so long. I can't see. I can't see. Anyway, apologies. Back at it. Has any overtakes happened while I was wiping my eyes? That'd be pretty funny if they did. Ooh, AJ. AJ is actually pulled a lot of speed out that corner. Quite amazingly, actually pulled a fair bit of gap. Good job to him there, because I'll tell you what, he needs like to pull a lot of gappage through these later sectors, which what his setup will do actually, it will help with that, because I think Lazy has a higher straight line speed setup, whereas AJ has a more slightly corner focused one, which allows him to gain time through that last sector, so he can buy time for him to keep it down the straight. Because Lazy definitely getting closer, but it's still too far away to make the move done. And also, I think that was Lazy. No, that was Snoopy, I think, saying the fastest lap of the session. Overtakes have been made in the last couple laps, or the last lap. We'll just give everyone a little bit of screen time. Move off the front a bit, move towards the midfield. Be the process here. Again. The front is still very, very packed up. The end seems to have fallen off that front pack. Burmeister, 5-second penalty for speeding the pit lane. I think that might be retirement. Here goes Hambulil. Like done before. Doesn't work out. Lovely camera though. Look at this four-way battle here, because AJ seems to be pulling a lot of gap now compared to these other drivers. They all take a look, but nothing ever comes of it. This is quite the little train we got going on here. Let's get like a mid-train point. Lazy will not have enough pace, I think, to get to AJ. Burmeister retired and left the session. It's a Red Bull DNF and an Alfa Romeo DNF. Even with all the DRS in the world, I don't think Lazy's closing that gap anytime soon. He's got to rethink his tactics. Hamby Little was also getting very close down the straight. It's a lovely top 6-7 driver battle here. It's amazing to see. The cars definitely do follow a lot nicer. Although it does seem to be breaking up. Hamby Little seems to be losing a little bit of pace here. David approaching up a bit from behind. Same with Brent and everyone behind. It's a very close thing. Oh, Cammy, what happened there? Losing out on 2 positions there, and they're fighting here. Red Bull of Kevin Cal and Alpha Tauri of Dino. I couldn't tell if it was an Alfa Romeo at first. Having a little side-by-side scrap down into the far chicane. Here it goes. Gets it. Dino gets in front, and so does Cammy. But there goes Roy. That was very unfortunate there for Roy. Caught the rumble strip a little bit, I think, although maybe a bit too much of the inside curb. Anyway, back towards the front. Lazy rethinking the approach. Might actually have enough speed to put it off here, but I think AJ has a bit more battery, because AJ seems to be pulling that gap away. Narnbread in the pit lane. Maybe early pit stop strategy. Let's see what those tyres are for Narnbread. I doubt it's for a wing. On to new hards. I don't think the pit window's open. It might be. I don't think it was yet. But the top 2 seem to be pulling away from the rest of the pack now, but the top lot have been pulling away from the rest of the pack, to be fair. But they're doing a good job, nonetheless. Nice and clean. And being very smart about how they approach the moves. And Lazy losing out here a bit to AJ going into this chicane. Down the straights, I've said Lazy might be better down the straights. It might be AJ who's better down the straights. But then why is Lazy losing so much time in the corners? Yeah, maybe more time. Lazy's on the softs and AJ's on the mediums. Aha, the softs. Lazy's softs have hit their fast point. They're too muddied now, those softs, to grip as well as they used to. Here goes AJ down the straight. It's a nice shot of that. But take a look at that. 6 cars, all in following 2 by 2 by 2. It is amazing to see a little 6 car scrap here around Albert Park. You see, if I was a proper commentator, I would have set myself the challenge of commentating this entire race in an Australian accent, but I'm not that insane. Roy, no, sorry, not Roy. Roy, not Roy. Into the pit lane goes Narnbread and Cammy. Cammy on new hards, Narnbread on new mediums. I didn't check the tyres before the race, but Happy Little and Lazy are on the softs currently, so that'll be why they're starting to fall back a little bit, I think, on AJ's pace, because AJ is more consistent on those mediums and is delivering out decent pace, whereas Lazy and Hamby Little, as we can see by David managing to get the jump and slide back into third, are starting to go off those softs. I do think when Mitch gets past Be the Process, is Be the Process on softs or on mediums. It's just a medium battle there. Here goes Snoopy on Hamby Little. Those softs, I think, are meeting their point. Josh Morton, 3-second time penalty for multiple trap limit warnings. Unlucky. David now. Mercedes in sight with Snoopy behind on the same compound. Those softs have gone off. Hamby Little just trying to clench on. You've got to drive so well when your tyres are at this stage of death, because if you make even the smallest mistakes, it really adds up, because your tyre deg, your tyre heat, And then, like, driving offline itself, it all slows you down. Because now you're starting to see this gap being formed here, but especially between AJ and Lazy, that just opens and closes depending on the stakes and depending on battery usage and all that sort of stuff. But David is really trying to close that gap now down this straight. DRS in hand, no use though. Nearly taking a sniff right into that exhaust, David's car is. 3-second time penalty for Team Red Theft. Multiple track limit warnings. Unlucky there. Look at the line difference. Lazy finally peeling off into the pits, accepting that he is not getting past though that Haas of AJ, putting David back into second, and Mercedes are going to have to rethink their strategy here. And not... No way, he's down in 17th. Slow stop maybe for Nombre, but who knows? And Lazy managing to come out about P10. Let's take a look back at the front of this race. I feel like I'm looking at a lot. Mitch GK 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Unlucky. Let me show some love later. Slow down the grid. Here we go. Here's a fight. Roy and Be the Process. Be the Process on the hards. Roy on the hards. It's so hard to tell what the tyre compound is now because of the inlets. Nard Red goes fastest on a 119.981 on those medium tyres, fresh. Lap 13 of 29. Just about to hit half distance here. And hello to everyone watching. Welcome to the League of MVP. We've been trying to promote this out a bit more. It's a private league. Which requires like certain application to join and all that stuff, but it's all love. In here, it's a very much a community thing. You're sort of like sworn into the community. Very nice, but no, we want this to be open to more people to like view and see, because it is genuinely some good racing happens here. AJ into the pit lane. Up onto hards. Yes, onto new hards. Get Lazy though, gets the jump on AJ. He does the overcut. And speaking of Lazy, gets past Kevin Cal as well. AJ's got some catch up to do. Warm up of those tires. David in the lead of the race now. The front becoming a bit more disjointed with one another. Gonna force me to look elsewhere for my fights. Nonbred gets past Swampy. Climbing back up is Nonbred after that fastest lap. Those mediums have been turned on electric now. Josh Morton sliding around a bit on those hards. Maybe not up to temperature. Swampy 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings as well. Unfortunate is that. Be the Process, quite far out of anything at the minute. Dino chasing down Team Red, aka Mike. Very lovely lad. What? Oh, David's in the pit lane, and Hamby Little's also in the pit lane. Hamby Little finally coming off those softs. I think that is a bit late for that, I think. Snoopy inherits the lead of the race on mediums. Followed by Smidge. Hey yo, he's just appeared out of nowhere, and Jens. But it's quite a distance between them. What did I just try and swear I just saw a dive bomb attempt? But oh my god, Kevin Callop, 14 positions, amazing drive, and Dino up 12. Good drive by some of these drivers here, and also just some unfortunate drives as well. But there's still half the race to go. Lap 15, 29. Excuse me. Lazy there, so I sadly just missed it, getting the move done there. On to Dino, very good job there to secure that move. I'm just going to do another mic check, because my mic's been playing up recently. I don't want to, like, have it cut out midstream and then it not record for, like, half the stream. I also am aware it sounds awful, so I'm sorry to all 5 of you that are watching the stream currently. God bless your ears. Smidge into pits, promotes Jens up to second, and Lazy but Talented, the man who we're looking at now, up into third podium position. This is the first race of the season, so there's no championship points currently for anyone. It's all new scores on the doors, and these are the scores that will set those doors after the race today. So, the better you can do here, the better start to the season you'll have. But of course, for those who don't finish too great, there's always next race, and I think Roy is going to start thinking about that. There is always next race, because the next race we have is Austria, which is Dome and a CISO calls. Although has he actually even won at Austria before? I don't know. That for me. Has Roy ever gotten a registered league win at Austria? Smidge and Kevin Cow going in it down the straight. Smidge got in front, but Kevin and Cow manages to get back in front before the corner. But Smidge, with the better exit, seems to be having a pretty good little drive here at the minute, running 8th. It's a consistent drive. Teammate Dino up in 11th. Yeah, Tatari having a pretty good finish at the minute. All the other teams sort of disjointed at the front. I say that as the Haas is back together and separating the Alpha Tauris. Commentators curse people. Wow, well, hello to all 7 of you watching us today here. Welcome to the League of MvP. It's lap 17 of 29 of our 50% race around Albert Park. AJ and David starting out up front with Lazy and Non-Bred. Mercedes trying to challenge them going into this race, and it has ended up how it is currently. Snoopy for Ferrari up on the front. First race of the season, new scores on the doors. Very exciting action here to be had. Snoopy driving a pretty clean race. Hamby Little here. Not too far off David. Let's give this a little look down here. Dino and Non-Bred down the straight. Here they go. Side by side. Dino's going to try and pull it off before braking. Does he manage to do it? Yes, he does. Down through the far chicane now into the series of tight corners. Will his car hold up to that Mercedes? Going through the first. The gap is relatively consistent. Going through the second. It seems to be gaining on the Ferrari. Jesus Christ. Gaining on the Mercedes. Mercedes seems really bad in Sector 3 today. It might just be that... I can't think, sorry. You're going to have to give me a minute to think about that one. Kevin, P14. There's some penalties. More than I thought there were, to be fair. But we'll give him a quick look-see while this battle... Oh, that's not the right button. We'll give him... Oh, that's not the right button either. We'll give him a quick look-see while this battle's occurring. 6 for Team Red, 3 for Josh, 3 for B Process TV right now with 3 seconds awarded just then for multiple track limit warnings. 3 for Josh, 3 for Kevin Cow, 3 for Cammy, 3 for Swampy, and 8 for Mitch, one of those being a 5-second time penalty, which will have to be served before the end of the race. Where are the conflict? Where is it? Here it is. Oh! That isn't really conflict. Snoopy pits, running Lazy up into first. Up 3 positions. AJ and David get closer and closer. Has Lazy pitted yet? Yes, they have. Oh, yes, because Lazy got the overcut on AJ. Very nice overcut as well. 10 laps to go, it would appear. Let me close that menu off so we can actually see the drivers. The car coming out the pit lane at the worst time. It's Jens, and Jens ain't going to be messing around here on the back of Non-Bred. Josh Morton gets another 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. Here's a little fight here. Roy, Kevin, and Josh. A little 3-car fight, and up the front, David is in DRS range with AJ. I'll keep an eye on that. If anything does come of it, I will make sure to try and switch over in time, which I can't guarantee. Mitch, 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. It seems that track limits proving an issue for some drivers around the track today. At least half the grid could probably be infringed with track limits if you distribute all the penalties out so it's one apiece. There goes Roy side by side with Josh. Little argy-bargy. Roy gets shoved off into the escape road and gets done in by Josh and Kevin Cow. Don't know how he'll feel about that one. He's probably thinking, let this be Austria already. I need Austria right now. This isn't how the practice went. But here goes Josh and Kevin. Kevin with the tighter line, pulling off some amazing traction down the straight. What a move! Through that final corner. Really teaching me something there about racing. And speaking of the Alpine, here's another one on the back of an armbread. And speaking of an armbread, here's a 3-second time penalty for you. Down 7 positions, but the other one's in first. I mean, it's a hard net to juggle Mercedes reigning champions. We want to try and do it again, but it's going to prove difficult if they want to try and do this with a performance like this in the first race. Hopefully their other finishes will be a bit more consistent. There's a very loud car outside. Excuse the... Yeah, it sounds like they're racing outside my window. I promise they're not. I'm not in Australia. There goes Mitch on teammate Cammy P03. Maybe... Might cut. Maybe some team orders there by the Aston Martin team. I'm just going to make sure my mic did actually cut back in. Yeah, we cut back in. Cool. And here's a little fight here. Narnbread, Jens, and B Process. Oh, could be 3 abreast here. Alpine resists. It's 2 abreast. I think Narnbread, no, hasn't managed to do it. The Alpine slips in. B Process 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. Jens manages to get past B Process and now has Narnbread to catch. I think maybe... No, wait, yeah, sorry, excuse me. That was a double overtake there. Moving up towards the front here. Oh, I like to see this. I like to see this. A little train here, back up in the front. With lazy but talented AJ, David, Hamby Little. Jens getting past Narnbread. Mercedes been quick in practice. They've also been quick here today. Narnbread going to be quick enough to manage to scrape some more in a singular, actually 2 points if he still holds the horse as well. Snoopy. Just outside of this scrap here that we're seeing, consisting of 1 Mercedes of Lazy, 2 Hasses of AJ and David, and also Narnbread in the pit lane. Maybe interesting change of strategy here for a soft compound tyre, maybe. That's the only tyre I would imagine you'll be putting on now. Yep, there it is. The soft, medium, soft strategy. Roy here. I'm taking my complete focus off the front, which I apologise, but I promised Roy some screen time. Also, he's the owner, kind of, technically the owner. There's a lot of people who do a lot of things with these. But I think Roy owns the Discord and stuff, so I have to give him a little bit of screen time whenever he's about to make an overtake. He says by instantly swapping off him. He won't know. Oh, well, he got the overtake. Well done, Roy. I didn't see it. Sorry, but well done. I applaud you. Oh no, never mind. You lost the overtake. I retract my applause. How do I like inverse clap or clap with the back of my hands? There you go. Can I pull some magic out of the bag here? Down the straight. Hello to all 8 of you. Be processed. 3-second time panning for multiple trap limit warnings. Roy gains, but nowhere near enough time to make it anything worthwhile. Let's take a look at this front four. Hamby Little seems to be falling off a bit. The others were all within about a tenth there. It is really tight. AJ getting a really good exit there. Here comes David, though, on Lazy. Oh, Lazy. Actually, no, he comes Lazy on David, I'm pretty sure. Or David on Lazy? I don't know. Also, AJ got blocked. I'm confused on what's happened. Can you show the tire info? Of course, I'll let you. Welcome to the stream, firstly. There's your tire info. Oh my god, AJ's pulled a gap. Naan overtakes Roy. Kevin Cow overtakes B Process. There's your tire info, I'll let you. I hope that's good enough because it's gone now. But that's not even the right. Uh-oh, I'm hitting the wrong buttons. You can tell I haven't done this in ages. Ferrari of B Process, I think, into the pit lane there. Hello, all 7 of you. Jeez. Thank you all for being here, showing support for the league. Hamby Little, David DePay, AJ Dethroned, Lazy. Armbread sets the fastest lap. He's won. That soft gamble paid out. It paid out. He needs to gain a bit more than P10 for it to pay out, though. The way he wants it to pay out. AJ has been a dominant force in this race. But do I really want to interview David and AJ again? Who was it? Oh yeah, it was AJ. AJ was, I don't mind if David crashes out. I mean, I know we'll win it back in another race. Unbeaten Sign has retired from the race in the pit lane. Going out a safety car. I thought that was oh, that's Josh. It's Josh Morton there. Having a crash. And retiring. That's a late safety car. It's a real late safety car. Lap 25 of 29, safety car. Oh, this is going to be interesting. The drivers will hate it. The drivers are hating it, but I am loving it. I don't care what the drivers say. I love it. Oh, a lot of gambles here. Hold on. I know what the questions are going to be. Show the tires. I am softs. It's soft gambles for the lower end of the grid. Oh, this is going to be interesting. This is going to get real interesting. These front 4 or 5 or 6, if they don't pit, we could have an interesting race on our hands here. A very controversial race, don't get me wrong, but interesting. AJ pits, Lazy pits, David doesn't pit, and Hamby Little pits, Snoopy stays, pits, AJ gets a 5-second penalty, and the race is flipped on its head. AJ, 5 seconds, speeding in the pit lane, has to be served. So he has to pit again. That has ruined his race. Absolutely ruining it. He's ruining it. So the only person not on the soft compounder tires is David DePay. Now don't get me wrong. I know David's a very heavy Verstappen fan. And I know I shouldn't bring it up, but Abu Dhabi 2021, late safety car, Someone didn't pit for softs. This could be roles reversed. AJ's got a 5-second penalty, but he might not be the one to do it. Lazy might, though, in the Mercedes. Would add insult to injury. Haas. Could be a stinker. And with all those penalties so close together, if we get like one lap of racing, ooh, this could go down really interesting. AJ. 5-second penalty has to be served, or else they'll add another 5 to make it a 10. It's very, very interesting. The drama. I can feel the drama manifesting. I can feel it. I can feel the driver's anger and the drama. In the first race of the season, we have a late safety car staying out for another lap. With a lot of penalties on the grid, we could see drivers plummet to the bottom if it stays as close as it has been. Because remember at the start of the race we had that like 6-7 car train. If that stays the case, AJ's going to fall all the way to the bottom of that train, and maybe even more if there's even more cars, or even more if there's a small enough gap in between the two trains. This could be catastrophic for Haas, but it could also be risk reward here for David. I sadly don't see much hope in this for AJ with that penalty, and I don't think he can get that removed. If he can, then fair play. If he can't, then oh well. Tensions are high here in my commentary booth, aka my room, and there on Albert Park, aka a bunch of people's rooms. The safety car will come in this lap, I would imagine. Has to. Yeah, has to come in this lap. This is going to be interesting. I am leaned forward in my chair. I'm full tilt. I am a reflex angle with my chair. This is going to be a pretty big race here to the line. It's going to go down in controversy. It's going to go down as maybe one of the what the hell moments of the season, and it's only race 1. Hello me in a few months' time when I'm trying to find stuff for Instagram. David's in charge of the restart. And he's gone. David not really caught anyone napping there, which is not what he wants to hear on those hard compound tyres. Everyone else behind on the softs. What is happening? Here it's a clean turn 1 from all of them. It's clean. It's all clean. It's controversial, but it's clean. AJ manages to slide back up into P1. Lazy looking for the move on David. Gets squeezed. And he goes again, getting squeezed by Hamby Little. David compromising. Lazy there. Lazy gets compromised by Hamby Little there. Loses out another position to Snoopy. Swampy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I think Lazy may have been compromised again by Snoopy. No. Smidge under fire from Team Red. And what's this at the front here? David, Hamby Little fighting out. Hamby Little could be a race winner. I don't know if he's won a race before, but he's in with a shot with the last lap approaching. AJ's managed to pull 2 seconds, but it's nowhere near going to be enough to stop him from plummeting. It's like 3 abreast. It's 3 abreast. Lazy emerging from it up into 3rd. AJ and David, falling like an anchor, and that he has sunk into the grass. Haas have had a stinker. Absolute stinker. He's spun into the pit lane. He's just going to sit there and get disqualified. Wow. Well, controversy for Haas. Absolute upset in the Haas garage and to all the Haas fans. AJ's pulling a decent gap. But it's going to be a harsh gap to overcome in one lap, sadly. And I think this is it. I think the fate has been sealed for a lot of the drivers. Kevin Cow might get a move done here. A few drivers. Team Red there getting a move done on Dino into the chicane. That was absolutely amazing. Absolute. Take a look at AJ. He will be known as the man who finished first on track in Season 8, Round 1, Australia. But I don't think he'll be the man that actually finishes third. He will be the man that finishes some amount of degree under the order, but it's Hanby Little. Unexpected win there. From me at least. Lazy taking P2 from Mercedes. Good comeback. AJ actually manages to snag P3. Surprisingly. It's not an utter loss for Haas. Snoopy P4, Smidge P5, Dino P6, Jens P7, Roy P8, Kevin Cal P9, Team Red P10, Cammy P11, Mitch P12, Jalal P13, B Process P14, Non-Red P15, and David sliding across the line P16, and with our retirees. Wow, what a race. Very controversial at some areas. I loved it. The drivers hated it. I'm going to invite them to the com box, and they're going to hate it. But here he is, Hanby Little, English flag, my man, winning the Australian GP. Oechi, has Hanby won a race before? And let the champagne be sprayed. I didn't expect, but here's your final order before I get them all in here. Hanby Little P1, or current order I should say before penalties apply. Hanby Little P1, Lazy P2, AJ P3, Snoopy P4, Smidge P5, Dino P6, Jens P7, Roy P8, Kevin Cal P9, Team Red P10, Cammy P11, Mitch P12, Swampy P13, B Process P14, Non-Bread P15, David P16, Josh Morton P17, Unbeaten Sign P18, Burmeister P19, and Oechi P20. And what a controversial race. Let me get them in here. I'm just going to add them to a chat with Roy. Hopefully Roy doesn't mind. I've been in a call with him this whole time. Who won again? I forgot. AJ, Hanby Little, and Lazy. Hopefully Hanby doesn't give me the notification that I need to add him. Nope. We're good. Wow. I think this was Hanby's first. It was Hanby's first race. Well done, Hanby. That was amazing. Yeah, that was his first race. Wow. Congratulations, Hanby. That was your first race. Congratulations, even if it wasn't. Well done. Do I need to ping him for interviews, do you think? Or do you think AJ just wouldn't want to speak to me? Oh, yeah. AJ?
Hello.
You sound, you sound how I expected you to sound.
You know, I gotta be happy about it, I guess. Just because
Yeah.
I was with a 5-second penalty with 2 laps to go and everybody was bunched up. So just the fact that I was still on the podium, I'm very happy with. But obviously it should have been a win today.
Yeah, okay. Well, since everyone's here, I'll start the formal interview process. Um, you've spoken a bit about it already, but how was your race in entirety?
It was great.
Yeah, no, it was pretty
Up
good at
until
the
those last
start.
couple of laps, I think we had the Mercs on pace today. Um, but it can't complain. David and I were gonna be 1-2 if that safety car didn't come out. Unfortunately, it did, but
Mm.
just
It's
to
very late
salvage
safety car.
very late an
I
unfortunate safety car.
mm,
Um,
mass controversy, in my opinion.
yeah, I don't know what really happened, but it's in the group
It
chat. It
was
sounds like
someone
uh,
hit a wall, I think, crashed out. Or I
yeah, it
thought it might
sounds
have
like
been
there was
a
some
retirement in the
contact or
pit lane.
something.
Yeah,
No, there was a retirement in the pit lane, but it was just before
just
the actual
before,
incident that brought it out.
yeah.
But overall, to get pulled by almost 2/10 and then you know have a solid race up front. I think it looks good for Haas this season, and
Mm.
with Mercedes, it's going to be obviously a very close battle. I don't know what happened with George, but I'm sure
I think it was a
if he had
unlucky
a better
collision at the
start,
start. That big turn one stuff
yeah,
gave him some wing damage.
if he had a better start, he would have been up there with us too, fighting.
Mm. I was
But
gonna say is
yeah,
in qualifying especially, the Haas Alpine, sorry, the Haas Mercedes sort of rivalry sort of shown. Do you think they're going to be a
yeah, it's
target this
already
season?
showing its teeth this early, so I'm excited for it. Not I know Mark's here, but I think we can get him this season.
The reigning champions of last season. You think that you and David are going to be pairing that does it? Oh yeah, and how do you feel about what happened with David at the end there and his
Yeah,
strategy?
he was kind of. It was a tough strategy call for us, just because if he would have came in with everybody else for the softs, he would have been. In hindsight, it probably would have been better than what actually happened. From what it
Hmm.
sounded like, and I haven't seen it, but it sounded like he kept getting turned in on.
He got
But I'd have to see.
wombo comboed. That's how I gotta put it.
Oh, okay.
He
Yeah,
got
I haven't
wombo
seen it, but
comboed, which like he got overtaken, but then got knocked, which then put him in. It screwed him over for like the next car that hit him,
yeah,
and then he
yeah,
just slid out on the final corner, which was just unlucky on old hards.
yeah. Like I
Yeah.
said, again, without that safety car, I think it would have been a Haas 1-2 today. Um, so, and David last year started with 0 points too. So, and we saw how that turned out. He still won the championship. So, it's very far from over. We just
Yeah.
got to be better under those safety car conditions and get our strategy down. If we do that, I think we'll have a very successful season.
Yeah. Well, here's to a better next race, but you guys did well nonetheless. So
Thank you.
congratulations,
Yep. Yep.
congratulations.
Thank you.
You're free to leave if you want, or you can stick around. I don't mind.
I'll stick
But
around. I got to hear what Mark has to say.
next, lazy Marg.
Hey, how's it going? Good to hear you back.
How nice. It's nice to speak to you again. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
How was your race from your perspective?
Mixed feelings, I think. The first stint on the softs didn't go to plan at all. I thought the second stint on the mediums was very strong.
You
And
got the
then with
overcut.
the safety car at the end. Yeah,
That was a
the
very powerful
It was
overcut
really
or
good.
undercut.
Yeah.
undercut, yeah.
That was
Yeah,
Undercut.
it was
Sorry.
undercut.
crazy.
Yeah.
Nice. I think it was 3 seconds, so done very well. I think I got the strategy right. I just got hindered in that first stint, and that kind of let me down a bit. Obviously, it was a good fight with the Hasses, and then unfortunately the safety car came out at the end, and it was just pretty much carnage. It was a free for all at the end.
It got.
It was a difficult end.
Yeah, a penny for your thoughts on that last safety car and the laps after.
I mean, safety cars, whatever, you can't control safety cars, you just have to adapt to the situation. But in terms of the last few laps, I mean, wasn't happy at all, got pushed off a few times, so I've won, but at the end of the day, I mean, on the podium, can't complain too much.
Yeah, I know.
So, good points.
Yeah, decent points, decent start to hopefully a decent season for Mercedes, trying to keep your previous championship alive.
Yeah, they're trying to defend that title, yeah.
And it was a clean start for us this time, Mark.
Yeah, it was good for us.
Yeah, better than last season.
Yeah, much. Definitely.
Well, congrats, Mark. Hopefully, I mean, we'll probably see you up here a few more times. It'll be Haas or Mercedes up here. But for me, like, unexpected winner of this race, Hamby, hello. We've never spoken before. Hello, welcome. Yeah, no, is it your first race as well?
First F1 race, right?
Jesus, man. Congrats, firstly, on that for your first race. How did you feel that the race went as a whole? Yeah, I mean, I think it was a pretty consistent drive from you. If I'm right in saying, and then, there was a few times where there was like about a train of 6 to 4 up at the front, and you were always like in that train, ready to pounce at any moment. You were taking like quite a few looks as well, managing to keep up with the pace, and then when your opportunity came, you sort of pounced on it, and then I look away and I look back, I'm like, oh my god, he's in first. But no, yeah, with the penalties. Yeah, Davies accident and penalties with AJ and all that stuff. But yeah, I said pretty controversial race, but I mean a race win's a race win. So I mean, like, celebrate it where it is, I guess. How do you feel going into like the rest of the championship? Where do you feel like you're gonna place? The Williams looked quite strong at one point, yeah. I think they're up there, maybe top, maybe third to half of the championship could be where Williams lies this season. If you crank out a few more of those performances. But no, congratulations, man. I didn't know that was your first race, so that's just like sweetened the deal a lot more. So well done. The floor's open to any of you. Do any of you have any final words for me, the stream, or anyone?
No. Well, actually, did you yawn?
Huh?
Did you yawn?
Nearly, but I didn't know.
Okay.
I mean, how many times did you cut out AJ?
Yeah, let's hear that one too. How many bad things did you say about me?
How many bad things?
There's a minimum quota here that we need to hit.
How many?
Yeah.
Ooh, did I actually say anything bad this time?
I mean, I would hope not. I had a pretty. Oh, jeez.
I said maybe if you tried putting your wing down, 2 at the front, 3 at the back. Put your like two down at the front, 3 like, you know what I'm on about, right? I said that, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
I did do that.
Yeah, you did do that, but I did it again.
Yeah, it definitely helped with the straight line speed, for sure. Help keep Mark behind on that. Yeah, like help keep you behind on that when that first stint when you were on those softs.
Yeah, I mean, the soft end wasn't good for me at all.
They died off pretty quick.
Yeah, they did.
they did, but they held on a lot longer than I was hoping they would.
Yeah, they were decent, but they were tricky as well.
True.
Yeah.
Like them there.
Any final words from anyone else? Any final words?
I don't think so.
A
Okay.
good season.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great season. Looking
To a
forward
good
to it.
season, amen. To a good season. Well, thank you, lads. You're all free to
All
leave
right.
my commentating dungeon. Enjoy your
All right.
lives. I'll see you all next week.
Sounds
Thanks.
good. Enjoy your night.
Hey, Mark, are you staying on?
Yeah, I will.
Right.
Okay. All right.
I'll see you,
I'll
lads.
invite you to the party.
Hey, see you.
All right.
Enjoy your night.
Wow. Another great race. Well, a great first race. Controversial first race in my eyes. Thinking about it from the racist standpoint. And it's very good. So, yeah. No, congrats to everyone. Thank you all for watching, tuning in. I'm gonna try and figure something out. So, like, maybe something coming in between this week and next weekend for the thing. But we'll see what happens. But go follow us on our new Instagram. That'd be very cool if you did that. And also, hi Roy. And go subscribe to us on YouTube, and also, just keep up to date with the League of MVP happenings. We'll come at you next week from Austria, I believe.
I think.
Sorry, Mike. They're all yelling at me because I'm commentating. So yes, I'll wrap up the stream now because they're yelling at me. But thank you, everyone. See you all next week.